We're doing this as just a clarification to the previous video, just so your mind is on track to the facts sitting in front of you. Now, we know that the kingdoms or the sovereignties of the world have their format in the legal. So they usually have a head office, or what they call their country. Well, God's people, we already know from Scripture that heavenly New Jerusalem above is spoken of as the kingdom. That is the sovereignty, and that's where we go to the next point. Who is the leader, or the one at the top of this? Well, the anointed of God is Jesus Christ. He's the king. He's appointed by the highest source. Nobody is above him as king. So he is noted in the Bible as the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and that all man's governments have been submitted to his feet upon him doing the will of his Father when he was executed as that king. We know that basically the worlds of man have charters for their kingdoms or their sovereignties. Well, we as Christians have a charter. That's the Holy Bible. Some will feel more comfortable being the authorized 1611 King James Bible. It's fine. It's there. It's evidence of the charter. Then you basically have a ceremony. Now, we know when you come into Canada or any other place, there's usually an oath of allegiance. Now, in the world of, or in the truthful spiritual world under God, the ceremony for Christians is water baptism. And that's when you're birthed basically as a new creature. The old creature is gone. You're no longer part of that old world. You can't be the legal guy you were before. So therefore, here is the evidence of what is before you. Now, again, even the worlds of men, these kingdoms that they have ambassadors. The Scripture speaks of God's people as being ambassadors for that kingdom. So therefore, you're walking only at this moment, possibly confused because you may be carrying a dual allegiance. You're trying to play serving two masters. You're trying to serve unrighteous mammon under a legal system instead of following the spirituality of the highest end that is recognized when you walk it. That's why Canada, they can't deny they recognize God because they put it right in their charter that Canada was founded upon principles that recognize the supremacy of God and the rule of law. They can't just, so yes, the Canadians that want to be legal, they're under the rule of law, man's positive law, and they will have to follow its rules. God's people are under the supremacy of God while they are residing in that particular country. So we have to start getting our head out of that sandbox of the legal side and start getting our head focused with spiritual knowledge and start walking with the truth. Now, we have to be aware that the statement of birth record, why it cannot be used for identification, is because it's the first thing that just alleged that you were going to be a member, claiming legal title. You would have to commit treason against God to take that on, but you didn't know. That's no problem. You're innocent. You're ignorant of the fact, not ignorant of the law. Then basically, we know in the legal world, we carry certificates of citizenship that generally deem us or allege us to be in that world performing as a legal citizen. That's a choice factor if you've requested to be that. And that's the only purpose of that birth certificate, is basically to put you in a lower position away from God. So you can't choose both sides. You can't be hot and cold at the same time. So be aware, you're going to have to make a choice or God will truly spit you out of his mouth.